All right, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the farm vlog. We got some updates happening to the greenhouse and we decided to introduce some circulation fans. We're going to be adding a few more. In my opinion, I think they're helping us move some air around. I don't know if we should be aiming it downward, but we have a few more over there, then a few more over here. We're also implementing more fans in the rest of the greenhouses. If you guys had the chance to catch the bamboo vlog, I updated you guys with what's happening with the climate and how temperature is our biggest enemy when we're growing vegetables. Vegetables don't like it when the temperature reaches 38 degrees upward. Look at these beautiful arugulas. Can't wait to have some of that later. Here we have some lettuces, some kangkong in between. These are our normal staple for the farm. Farm is in full production. The staff are cleaning the towers. These are our maintenance aspect because we have to remove all the root, and it looks like we're sowing a ton of seeds. Some of the Instagram stories that I post on the farm have been going viral. Lots of people viewing. Here is our thermometer. This is the intake side of our greenhouse where the air gets sucked through and gets moved around and pushes out the backside. Normally when you're doing a tunnel farm like this, they use the longitudinal style where the fans are going to be at that end. I wanted more wind flow. So when we set up our fans, we set up a thermal controller. On this side of the greenhouse, you can see it's 38.1. 38.1 for me is sort of borderline already of what temperatures we want to be growing vegetables. The temperature probe is located right about there, right beside the fan. So we're monitoring different levels of height. The intake air temperature is lower, but as it stays inside the greenhouse, the heating from the sun traps within the domes, and then that's what's creating the heat inside the greenhouse. The heat is good if you're living in a different climate where you need the heat to help the plants, but here in the Philippines where it's tropical, we actually don't need the heat. We want to move it out. That's why we have almost 12 fans here on the exhaust side, and then now we're introducing the air circulation fan. And if you guys didn't know, the hottest part of the greenhouse is actually where the tip of the roof is. So where the dome sits on top, that's going to be the warmest part of the greenhouse, and that's why we ended up putting the circulation fans, because we wanted to get rid of stagnant air. Now on the end of the greenhouse tunnel, I'm going to be introducing a fan also, which is, I wonder why they haven't installed it. Right now we are overcast, that's why the temperature is a bit more decent, but when the temperatures hit around 41, we now start to struggle in growing vegetables, and that's going to be an issue for other farmers as well. We are in a little cooler climate than the city. We fall probably 2 degrees colder in Celsius on the temperature scale because we're about 1,200 feet above sea level. But that's still not enough for us to consistently grow vegetables. If the weather goes into El Nino, then we're going to have a problem. But if the weather goes into La Nina, then I think we should be okay. The whole reason we got into the greenhouse system is to make sure that we're able to grow vegetables year-round and we don't spray any pesticides. The pests here in the farm are immense. They're all over. They like to eat the vegetables, put some holes in them, and we don't want that. We can't sell the vegetables, we can't use it if they look like that. So we built the greenhouse to actually protect ourselves from pests and protect ourselves from extra rain. When it gets super rainy, the water goes into the nutrient system, it dilutes the nutrients for the towers, thus not being able to grow consistently. So once the water gets diluted, then our formulations change and we can't have that. That's why we built the greenhouse. Now my greenhouse is higher than most normal greenhouses because the higher the headroom, the more chance of us to cool down the greenhouse. Now on the end side of the greenhouse, we actually ended up changing everything to screen. The screen is sort of helping us pull air into the greenhouse also, especially if it is windy outside. So here at the end of the greenhouse, the temperature is nearly here because we are near the intake side of the screen. Let's check out the other temperature probes and see what we're getting. So 32.4. So we're in the middle of the greenhouse. We are pushing 37.9 up to 38 Celsius. And this is where we're struggling to move air around, like, especially now that the sun is coming out. How many crops are we growing here in the tower farm? We have this type of lettuce, and then we have our pechay, and then we have the almighty type of lettuce, which is these guys. And then we have one soy or cilantro. Let's do a taste test. Oh wow, so good. Cilantro. And then we have our pechay or bok choy, I'm not quite sure. It's about the green and the brown stem. We have our kangkong, so beautiful. And then we're moving here. These are partial broccolis and partial cauliflowers growing in the bottom. Here we have our famous peppers. These are really good. These are our strawberry plants, and sadly they're not giving us any crops because it is very hot in the system. So I'm gonna try to clean it out a little. We do have the suckers going around. So strawberry plants, we have our beautiful basil. I love picking these things and showing you guys. Smells so fresh, tastes so good. If you guys are interested to buy any of our produce, we do sell them. I set up a Viber community group already, so I'm gonna post the Viber community link down in the notes so you guys can get some pesticide-free vegetables fresh from King Tower Farm. We do harvest every Thursday, which means every Friday we'll be selling the vegetables in our commissary in Malate. This is our kale. There's some kale here, some more basil here, and then some of our peppers here. Sorry about the noise, but the farm is in full maintenance mode. We are trimming grass as well. Here is our curly kale, and then some of our basil. More pepper plants here. So when we're growing the pepper plants, we can't grow anything under because obviously the shading doesn't allow us or permit us to grow anything underneath. Excited to see if we're able to grow some broccoli and then more of the almighty lettuce and some mature arugulas. I think we have dill also somewhere here. There's the dill plant. At the end, we'll get there. Let's pick a baby arugula. There we go. The baby arugula is not so peppery. This is our lettuce, and we actually grow this for wholesalers. It's called the almighty or almiti. I'm not quite sure, but it tastes good too. This is our dill. I can't wait to use this for sounding. It's so fragrant, so good. This is one of my favorite shots when I'm walking through the farm, just to see all the greenery amongst the white towers. Just looks so good. Here we have the Nato assembling the towers, and the rods are here. This is how the towers look. In the middle you have the nutrients coming up, and then sinking back down to the center for circulation. Okay, let's check out our grow beds. This is awesome. We started growing some ampalaya. That's our ampalaya right here. I don't know what these guys are, maybe carrot top. I'll have to double check. Don't want to dig anything out just yet, but these are different. I think these are bottle gourd. At the end over here, we have our bitter gourd or ampalaya. So cucumbers, ampalaya, and bottle gourd. Just in this small space, we're able to produce tons of produce, and these are the things that rats don't like. This hole over here, that is a rat's nest. So always a problem with us. The rats like burrowing in because it's shelter for them also. I'm so happy the grow beds are being fully utilized. I can't wait to see all the produce that is going to grow from these things. Now we do have some new crops at the end as well. There's some eggplants at the end, but they're very small still. We have a ton of chili peppers. So these are bird's eye chilies. I don't want to bite one because I might not be able to finish the video. That's chilies on chilies on chilies. And over here we have our eggplant. These are some baby eggplants. So slowly we're being able to complete all the veg that we need for the hotel. And these are also pesticide free. We do not spray anything. I'd like to eat the vegetables here at the King Tower farm. These are still tiny, but amazing. I'm just amazed that all the hard work that the staff put in and all the ideas that we've implemented are working. We still need to add some fans here. This area does get hot. Right now the wind is habagat, which means it's coming from this side. It's actually helping cool down this area. But in Amihan, when the wind comes from behind me, this is going to be a hot zone, which means we also need to add some fans here on top. Being that it's been raining, this is our rainwater collection system. This is a little holding trap so we can filter all the leaves. And then underneath all this is almost 700,000 liters of rainwater collection. From all the roofing that we've constructed for the greenhouses, it doesn't make sense that you do not collect rainwater because you're going to have so much surface area, and all you need to do is connect the spouts down, filter it, and bring it into the grow bed system. So happy that that is working too, although we do have a small leak underneath, which means they need to revisit it and check it, but we're going to do that in summer. Hopefully we don't run out of water in between. These are the long chilies, and there's some dead chilies that need to be cut out. In fairness, the grow system took a while to stabilize. So when we were planting in these systems, we needed to get the soil to stabilize and rebalance itself, let the microbiology build itself back into what a balanced system would be. And I'm just happy to see the progress. Everywhere we look, there's growth. What a treat to come back to the farm and see everything in production. This just makes me so proud that the boys here are listening. In the years of us farming here at King Tower Farm, this is the most that I've seen in terms of variety and in terms of production. And even during my dad's times, it wasn't this crazy because when he was farming here, it was just very small scale for personal, but I've taken it a step further. And as you can see here, we've gone the extra mile to try to really produce efficient vegetables year-round. Hopefully the system continues to deliver, but the next step that I want to do is actually want to do an experiment with one of the grow beds and do a multi-crop system, because that way they're more resilient than doing a monocrop system. One of the biggest issues with a monocrop system is that you're target to pests. And being if you have a multi-crop system with some nice smelling herbs, it will help prevent other insects from eating them. This is how the system looks. We have some empty grow beds here that for sure are going to get some vegetables later on, but this is the latest section for us. We're passing my lime tree section up behind the fans. They produce a lot of lime here, but we're gonna go to our calamansi area and the aquaponic area. This is the calamansi area that we're going through, and it's also constantly giving us calamansi after years of trying to figure out how to go about this. We're finally being able to weekly harvest this place. It's so hot, but this is our calamansi field. Right next door to it is a small banana plantation, but the bananas haven't really been growing successfully. Once in a while we do have a head of bananas that we do eat, give to the horses, share with the staff. Let's check now if there's anything to see. I see one guy over there, right about there. These are all bananas, a mix of different types of varieties, also just to get more resilience from the farm. And let me show you our bird watcher, our fake owl, to help protect the crops from other birds. Hello, Mr. Owl. But our calamansi extends all the way till this section here. Now this section took the longest time to mature, but finally it's giving crops also. So like this tree, I need to come in and trim it. This green branch growing straight through the middle, these shoots that are still soft, these need to be trimmed out, because once you have shading in between, they're not as efficient at capturing light, and we don't want the trees to be inefficient. So we're going to be trimming branches that are growing inward. Anything growing outward is welcome, but anything growing inward is a hindrance and a waste of energy for the tree. This guy in particular, this should be trimmed because he's growing inward already, and you don't want to create an area where you have stagnant air, because stagnant air leads to molds. Molds lead to diseases and fungi, and we don't want that in our plants. These calamansis are super good, super sour. Every week we're able to harvest a few kilos of calamansi, so if you guys are interested, you can check out Ava's Best. And we have a community page again for our frequent buyers so that you can get updates on what we're harvesting on a weekly basis, along with the photos of what we're harvesting. Okay, one last stop for you guys. Here we have some stingless bees. They help pollinate all the calamansi here in this side of the farm, and without them our production rate will be really low. And also they help with controlling disease by making the plants stronger, because they're all sort of helping one another when they intermingle with all the buds of the flower. Looks like there won't be any aquaponic update. There's no crops in the system now. I do know we need to add the air circulation system as well. And if you guys are going to take home anything from this video, it is really a matter of fixing our planet, because climate change is going to make it harder for us to grow vegetables. If we can't grow vegetables, then the pollinators have nothing to eat. If the pollinators have nothing to eat, then also everything suffers down the line. Even for the meat eaters, if you can't grow grains, grains feed cows and other livestock. If we can't grow that, then we're going to have major issues around the world. So hopefully you guys learned something from this video, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Peace.